Well, I just want to say that I think if you want an effective campaign of public information in the situation that we're in, you shouldn't have a control freak attitude, which is fearful of public debate. And in fact, you should use the resources that you're making available for online activity or announcements to actually facilitate debate and more detailed information than is currently available. Because I just think there's a tendency from the government to insult the intelligence of the public and not to actually believe in their wisdom. Now, in the end, these debates are forced out, you know. I mean, we had a briefing last week I organised in here about the zero COVID stuff, where they were arguing we need a debate about strategy. A week later, we're having a debate about strategy. It's been forced on you, right? But there's massive confusion. Advice from NEFIT saying one thing, you dismissing it, and you're tarnished to absolutely rubbishing them. But where's the information? Where's the evidence? Now, I think we need to put the information, the data that led you to dismiss NEFIT, and indeed their data, out there in the public domain, and let people adjudicate on the actual information and not be afraid to have a debate.
Thank you. Thank you.
But the data is being published. Data on ICU is being published. It is being published.
A lot of the considerations are.
A lot of the case numbers, all that's been published on an ongoing basis. The NEFIT letters are being published.
5 weeks behind.
The NEFIT letter was published. The Thursday letter is published. I'm talking about the letter, which is the key issue in terms of Thursday's advice and in terms of Sunday's advice. They have been published. They have been published. And I would say to you, no issue. I think the masks are. Everybody should wear masks as often as they possibly can. So the guidance is out there on the masks, and I'll deal with the. I'll come. And also, in terms of, there was no bank holiday date in my mind yesterday. Don't know where that came from. There was a lot more in my mind yesterday than the awarding of a bank holiday, I can tell you that. So I don't know where that came from. Yeah, but it wasn't in my head anyway, I can tell you yesterday. There was a more fundamental issue about level 3, level 5. Those are the issues yesterday. And in terms of Deputy Tobin's points, again, I'm kind of was perplexed by that suggestion. First of all, there's no media monitoring of any government criticism by anybody in GIS or anywhere, or in my department. There's no monitoring of any criticism by political parties right now. That doesn't happen, and no public servants or no GIS are doing that kind of work. So the idea that ads are being put in to stop bad news, it sounds extraordinarily bizarre to me, and I certainly don't believe that is the case. That could have been. There could have been a contract that could have been entered in earlier. I don't know. I'll check that out for you and get an answer for you on that. But again, that could have been contracts were entered into in advance over set periods, perhaps. I don't know. In terms of that specific issue that you raised in terms of cervical check ads, and the bulk of the communications has been on COVID-19, which is in terms of all the advertising around the various roadmaps, for example, which predates the new government, but clearly letting people know what was reopening, when it was reopening, what were the issues pertaining to that. Likewise, in terms of the various levels that we went to in Kildare and so on. So those various campaigns then have to kick in terms of, in all media platforms, in terms of what's allowed, what's not allowed, what does the new regime mean and the new restrictions mean. Then the business supports that are required so that businesses can apply for restart grants, for how to apply for rates relief, how to apply for various other schemes that can support you in terms of your businesses and so on. And information to the general public has been quite comprehensive, and I think we do need to continue with those information campaigns at all levels to make sure that the public are aware of their entitlements, that they're aware of what the restrictions themselves mean, and we will be giving a detailed breakdown in relation to the spend, and we'll circulate that to deputies. There is no control freak approach, Deputy Barrett, at all in relation to issues. And again, it seems that the Business Committee meets on a Thursday. I've said this earlier. Every Tuesday there's going to be a call for something else to be added. That seems to be stock and trade. No, that's the norm in terms of how this operates. And no matter what the Business Committee will agree on a Thursday, I can guarantee you the following Tuesday when we open, there'll be a demand to open up. So I've no issue with having debates on aspects of this, but there was a debate on the plan, which the Oireachtas participated in, which allowed for a graduated response. We didn't dismiss NIFIT's recommendation. We published a plan 3 weeks ago. Government did. It has to take the wider societal issues into consideration. It has to take the economy into consideration, employment into consideration. Of course, with public health as well, being uppermost. And the whole idea of the plan was that there would be that people could anticipate or expect that if you're at level 2 and things are getting worse, you might go to level 3, and then you go to level 4, and then you go to level 5. Now, sometimes the virus may not respect that, but I think everybody was taken back on Sunday when we were moving in most counties from level 2 to level 5 in one fell swoop, and that would have had enormous implications for a lot of enterprises, a lot of businesses, a lot of people working, and it would have been the lower paid and the young people who would have suffered most if we had moved to 11.5 in that way. At this stage, the government has taken the view that we didn't think it would be proportionate or the right course of action to go to level 5. But I've also said in what I said yesterday to the Irish people that we do need collectively and individually work together to stabilise the numbers and get the spread of the virus under control.